All right, today we're going to talk about something that I think is just like super important, super integral to being an artist, and just overall a really good life skill I think everyone needs. And like this is like an essential life skill. It's how to draw a cat. And in art it's really good to know human anatomy, but we have to start at cats first. It's really important to get this down because that's just where most of the good stuff is based. And so to begin, I like to map out the silhouette, starting of course with ears, I guess. And every type of breed of cat is different. I'm going to draw the fluffy cat here. This is Fluffy. We'll go into scary cat later. But this is Fluffy cat. And so fluffy cats have a little bit more of, I want to say human anatomy, but their eyes appear closer together. They actually aren't. The truth is their skull is like this much of them. Of course, that's not the shape of a real skull, but this is mostly fur, which is what makes them so fluffy and so good and so cute. And so usually their eye width appears to be similar to humans, where it's like you separate the head into 5 pieces. And then that's where you put your eyes. And I'm of course just kind of doing this really quickly. But see how much cuter this fluffy cat is. I think about the cat skulls, that you have like this indentation right here on the brow bone. Their noses aren't actually super far, but they do have a muzzle. So it's kind of like, how I put it, if you have too far of a muzzle, you make a horse cat, which is not a cat. So be careful. This is not a cat. Don't do that. And if it's too narrow, you just made an anime cat, and that's okay. But this is a person. This is human. Too human. And that goes right into scary. And so we want like kind of like an in-between type of cat. Type of thing. This might be, in fact, too vague. It depends on the breed of cat, but generally their muzzle doesn't stick out too far, but not too shallow, unless it's a Persian. And a lot of that, to be quite honest, is fur. Now, underneath the muzzle, you'll see, the butt of the face. This is normally how we tend to draw it. The truth is cats don't have butts on their faces, but it does kind of look like that because it looks like there's like a separation between this cheek and this cheek. There's no separation in real life. This is connected to this. It's just this is where the muscle kind of stops. It goes like this across the face. And what's cool about a cat's, I don't want to say lips. I'll call it muzzle because it doesn't work like lips. Human lips, you can kind of make a whole bunch of different shapes out of, right? Like you can lift your, that is the worst lip I've ever drawn, but you can lift up your lip into like a smile. You can kiss with your lips. If I felt like drawing that, I obviously need to draw more kissing. That's also the worst lips I've ever drawn, but you know what I mean. Cats can't really purse their lips that direction. What their lips are for is to make us see their huge ass fangs, because cats have huge ass fangs. And so the reason that their mouths are kind of different than human mouths, in that our teeth are kind of like right behind our mouth. So if you have a human mouth, our teeth kind of sit back here. Right? This is where our teeth hang out, and this is our mouth in front of our teeth. That's a horrifying thing to think about. But in a cat, their bottom of their muzzle actually covers up their incisors. They're huge ass incisors. Like they're terrifying. Cats are kind of the worst. So this is what's going on behind that muzzle. And so you need the bottom of that muzzle to cover up those incisors. And then right here is the chin. And the chin is actually about the same as where the incisors hit, but it's usually furry, and so it appears a little below. And so I'm going to draw that out for you. Much more pleasant. They don't actually have smile lines, but they do have a bunch of like fuzz going on. which makes them appear to smile, and it makes us like them more. So they keep it, I guess. Cats also have this weird thing where they don't have irises in their eyes. A lot of people get that wrong. Cats don't have this thing going on. That doesn't happen. There's no whites of a cat's eye. Maybe their whole eye is an iris. I don't know how else to put it. There we go. So, eyes like that. You want to avoid making them too human. It's just that sometimes we make these really cute, fluffy cats, and fluffy cats have a tendency to look more people-like. It's just how we breed them. We like them to look like babies. It's freaking weird. Now, there's different ways to do the muzzle. I'm going to show you another way. This one, it has kind of a big, kind of like a Garfield look to it. We have kind of this silhouette. It's not actually what's happening, so let's get rid of that guide and do something about it. Now, cat skulls go from that cheekbone, which is about right here, and they're just like little diamonds. That's how cat skulls work. They're kind of freaky. And so they don't have all that chin stuff that human skulls have. Human skulls are more square-like. Theirs are kind of more like diamonds. That's how I think of it. And so we're just gonna do this for this fluffy boy. Oh, so fluffy. More round ears, because that's this breed of cat. They have a bunch of hair covering anything complicated, which is helpful. They're just born to be drawn, those good old cats. Want them to see and hear really good, so we're going to make those ears and those eyes nice and good. Almost done with this fluffy kitty, and then we'll move on to a different one. Good enough. Drawing cats, honestly, I like to use a different brush, just because like you end up with a bunch of lines, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's furry. Good enough for me. And we'll just kind of add this in. Yeah, look how fluffy it is. So that's a fluffy cat. Let's move to a scary cat. Scary cats, however, are cats that have maybe a little less fur, so you can actually see how they're built. And that's what's really cool about drawing cats, and why I think it's like kind of like a really important skill to like kind of master. There's a lot of different cats out there in the world. The thing about scary cats is you can't get around not knowing how a cat skull looks like. So the thing about cat skulls is you have, again, the indentation here on the bridge where it goes kind of like it has a divot right there. They don't have much of a brow. A little bit, but not like a human skull. Human skulls have like huge brows on them. A cat skull does not, and it also is fairly narrow at the top. And then they've got those good old eyes. What makes these cats interesting, and as you can see, I'm kind of like going against my own rules. They aren't actually that wide-faced. They're not that wide. Is their eyes appear really huge because there's no fur around them. This is the same skull that's in this, except maybe the proportions are slightly different because it is a different breed. But this is what's underneath every cat that you see. It's this really freaky skull that I think is like really beautiful and really lovely. And once you understand it, you can draw any cat. They have to cover up their spooky fangs, which again go like this underneath their face because they're terrifying animals. Cats are terrifying. They're awesome, but they're also very scary and they're wrinkly as hell. And so we're gonna just draw a bunch of wrinkles on it. Alright, now when you're approaching a cat, as far as like the rest of the anatomy goes, I like to break it down into easily manageable shapes. And shapes that are kind of like familiar to me when I'm drawing a different anatomy. Like if I'm drawing human anatomy, I know what the chest looks like. Of course, for cats, it's a little bit different. They don't have the shoulders that humans have. A human shoulder, you have like a muscle that goes around it, the muscles that go in front. You have this clavicle situation going on that kind of like lead up to a shoulder if this is your head. This is really bad perspective here, but just trust me, human shoulder stuff is not what a cat has. They don't have this clavicle situation. Instead, their shoulders droop down because they kind of move around the spine. And they have these muscles in the front, but they're different. They kind of like, they move in a different direction. You can really see it when you're looking at a hairless. And so we're going to keep that in mind, that it's similar to humans, not the same. It has like kind of like claw feet that way. And it has a little gross tail. I love these type of cats. They're awesome. I used to know someone that owned one. Freaked me out. It was great. We tried to put a sweater on it once, and it did not like the sweater. It wanted to be naked and gross for everyone to see, and it was awesome. So that is the two different types of cat. The fluffy cat, the scary cat. It's important to know because, again, you use this stuff when drawing everything. I really think that the foundation, it's like line, color, cat. That's how you do it. That's where you start. So thank you for watching. I'll do more of these eventually, probably dig more into anatomy stuff. This is mostly about the face and why the cats look like cats.